I shouldn't text her. I was the one that said we shouldn't do this anymore. I made that decision, and for good reason. This ain't the time for all that. I can't speak for you, but I don't think we were ready, especially me. I got too many people who want to see me do something with this. This isn't the time to let up. I know this. So why am I sitting here one keystroke away from sending a text that I know I really shouldn't send? That was the internal dialogue I found myself having just a week ago. Yeah, I'm talking about a girl, but this isn't about the girl. It's about something much deeper, something that I think most of us have to deal with at some point. This is about loneliness. For as long as I can remember, I have been struggling with this feeling of what I believe to be loneliness. Whenever I wasn't distracting myself with something, whether it be schoolwork, hanging out with friends, watching YouTube, etc., whenever it was just me and my thoughts, sure enough, a subtle sadness would creep into my mind. Even though, when I look around, I don't see a reason to be sad. I have friends, family, food, shelter, all my needs are met. So why then do I feel as if something is missing? I came to the conclusion at a young age that something that I was missing was actually a someone. I mean, that's what society tells us, right? That there's someone out there for everyone, and that a huge part of your life should be dedicated to finding that someone. So even though no one ever told me exactly that the solution to this darkness, this emptiness that lives inside me was a girl, I was sure that whoever she is would be the solution to my problem. I needed to find my soulmate, my South Bay, if you will. And that's what I did and have been doing since I was 15 years old. Ever since I was 15, I'd get into these serious long-term relationships with the hopes that this will be the right girl to fill the hole in my chest. And for the most part, it worked. I'm constantly glued to my phone, so I'd rarely go more than a few hours without hearing from my girlfriend. Never more than a day. So this worked for me. I thought I had it figured out. Whenever I was in a relationship, the feeling of loneliness never crept in. And whenever a relationship would end, all I have to do is find a new girlfriend. It seemed to me that I had this whole problem of loneliness solved. That was until a couple years ago. I was 3 years into a relationship with a wonderful girl when I started to get these feelings of unrest. It was as if out of the blue, I started to get this incredible lust for conquest. Something inside of me wanted to go out and conquer the world. I needed to do something big. I needed to go on a mission and make something phenomenal out of my life. And as this feeling grew and grew, another feeling started to surface. It was a desire for freedom. I had this longing to be detached from everyone and everything. It was like instinctually I knew that in order to go on a mission of the magnitude that I wanted to embark on, I would need complete freedom from everything, including my girlfriend. It felt like I needed to be alone. So we broke up. I tried my best to explain it to her, and she tried her best to understand. So there I was, single and free, nothing tied me down to anything. And for a while, I enjoyed it. I mean, if you don't count the 2 months that I was single between this girl and the one before, I had constantly been in a committed, serious relationship for the past 4 years, and I was only 21. But then, an old friend paid me a visit. Good old loneliness. He started whispering things into my ear when I lie alone in bed at night. Things like,
no one's thinking of you. No one loves you. You have nobody. You're so alone. Isn't that sad?
And in no time, I was utterly consumed by the darkness that is loneliness. So, like many other people do when they start to feel lonely after a breakup, I started hooking up with my ex. Which of course led us right back to square one, being in a relationship. And there we stayed for another year. And at first, I convinced myself that I was wrong to leave her in the first place. That my lust for conquest was absurd and these feelings of wanting to be alone on my hero's journey was ridiculous. But the thing is, the hardest person to fool about how you really feel is yourself. And this yearning for adventure was not just my imagination. It was real and getting stronger every day. So, a year after we got back together, we broke up again. This was around February in 2017. It also was 3 months after I dropped out of school to pursue YouTube with everything I had. Your boy only had 300 subscribers at the time. Oh man. things change. So yeah, we split up and I started on my hero's journey with my mission to become a great YouTuber. But just like before, the loneliness resurfaced after a few weeks. Only this time I knew that I couldn't go back to my ex. It would be wrong. I don't think any man should put a woman he loves through that kind of heartache more than twice. So I chose to just deal with the loneliness. I mean, there were a couple chicks here and there that I was briefly distracted by. I mean, that's how you got the Tinder stories, but for the most part, I was all alone. And I felt every bit of it. That was until I met my last girlfriend. And we held a relationship title for maybe a month and a few weeks. We got together like a week before I moved from California, where she lives, here to Texas. And just like with my last girlfriend, my gut started to tell me that this wasn't the right time to be in a relationship. I needed to focus. And things weren't exactly going smoothly. So we broke up. And thus I find myself about a week after the breakup once again stewing in my loneliness. So there I was, sitting in my office chair, debating whether or not I should text her. And then I got angry. I was mad at myself, mad that I couldn't just make the loneliness disappear. Why does my gut keep telling me to leave these girls only for my heart to long after them once they're gone? And then it occurred to me, almost everything that I know about self-care, I've taught myself by reading and watching videos. Why have I not read a book about dealing with loneliness? So I hopped on Amazon and started looking for a book. And then one called out to me. Love yourself like your life depends on it. I bought it and started to read it immediately. And within minutes, the book connected with me on a level that I couldn't have anticipated. It broke down the concept and, more importantly, the practice of self-love. Of course, I've heard the term love yourself before, but I realized that I never really knew what that meant or how to even go about doing it. For instance, in my 23 years of life, I don't think that I've ever told myself I love you, neither in my head or out loud. But since I've read that book, I've said it to myself thousands of times. And believe me when I say that it feels just as good, if not better, than hearing someone else say it. It was as if I had been shown the secret to happiness, to living a great life. I realized that what I have been calling loneliness for years wasn't actually loneliness, but a longing to be loved unconditionally. And furthermore, that I am more than capable of supplying all that love to myself. Reading that book, I realized the significance, the life-changing power of loving yourself. I vowed from that day on that there will never be a day that goes by where I don't tell myself that I love myself. So that very night, I drove with my boy Feek down to the local tattoo shop, and I had them carve these oh so important words permanently into my skin in a place that I am forced to constantly look at every day. Since then, I've been practicing self-love passionately on a daily basis, and I can say that without a doubt, my life experience has never been the same. I also got a tattoo on my other wrist while I was at it, inspired by another book, Discipline Equals Freedom. But that's a message for another video. Moral of the story: I don't think that you can truly love anyone the way they deserve to be loved. That is until you learn how to love yourself. Yeah. Big shout out to the best squad on the internet, man. The Sauce Squad. It's your boy, Young Don, the Sauce God. Now, I feel like I gotta address a couple things real quick. One, this video is not sponsored in any way. I mentioned those books because they really did change my life. And y'all have changed my life by being in it, so I thought I'd share it with you. Also, I said the lessons that I learned from the book were the secrets to happiness. Just take that with a grain of salt. My definition of happiness is possibly different from yours. And although in my opinion, self-love is a huge part, probably the most important part of attaining sustainable happiness, it's not the only part specifically, so don't expect to read the book and then boom, your life will be perfect. However, I know it does possibly have the power to change your life because it changed mine. One way you can support me outside of watching this video is head over to my new vlog channel, man, and go subscribe to it. It already has 20,000 subscribers in only like 2 weeks, man. So thank you to those of you who have already hopped aboard the train. I promise you that this is a one-of-a-kind vlog. So go over there. I'll be posting the next vlog to this video where you can actually see me getting my tattoos and other cool. Today's winner of their very own signed YDSG poster is that boy Mark, man, at Parmo98. Congrats, fam. Check your DMs for more. If you want a chance to win next week, just go ahead and follow me on Twitter and retweet my pinned tweet. And you know what? Follow me anyway, man, because I'm just trying to get to that 10,000 followers on Twitter, and we're pretty close. As always, I want to thank y'all for your love and support. Make sure you go and check out that new vlog channel, man. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. Next animation drops sometime next week. Don't forget to like and comment down below. I'll be responding to comments for the whole next hour. I love you, love yourself, and I'll see you again next week.